Yo, what is going on, guys? This is the G2 Fancast Season 1, Episode 5. We had an action-packed week for League of Legends. Kopta and me were going to do this yesterday, but let's be honest here. You forgot, and I was dead on Monday. That's how this usually always happens. I'm usually dead off work. Literally, I got off work.
Maybe we should just move this to Tuesday, dude. Maybe we should
probably
just go on
Tuesday. He's like, all right. So
Mondays are rough, too, because, like, yeah,
because you have a wife and you have a life. Wait, that rhymes, sadly.
Yeah. Nice one.
You're like, wait a minute. I have a wife. I have a lifeline. I'm not a nerd like you.
LOL.
Yeah. So after I got off work, I went to this place where I paid on some layaway or whatever. I forgot I had, and then I got his All Might figure. They have like a Deku one and a Bakugo one too. I might get the Bakugo one, but I got the All Might one. And I was like, okay, just supporting the local business and shit. That's what I like to do. They have these like Shigaraki one. They have a Shigaraki one and an Endeavor one. I think they do, but I might get the Endeavor one. So yeah, I'm waiting for My Hero Academia season 5 because I'm personally all caught up in the manga, so it's personally fine for me. Yeah,
Dude, we just started here, My Hero Academia.
You're on season 1. You're on season 1. Which episode are you on?
Literally season 1. We're on episode 4 now.
Okay, so you're at the part.
Did you like the 4 or 5?
7.
So that's when
7.
He's at the part where he's facing Bakugo, and they have to disarm that.
Oh shit! It's a little class system. I don't know if it's my mic. Or like my audio or yours, but you're a robot to me.
Really? The heck? Oh, E1, can you hear me?
No robot. I hear no robot, Kofta.
Oh god. Okay, so it's my Wi-Fi. God damn it. Let me just restart real quick.
Yeah,
no problem.
Discord or something.
Oh my god. What's up, E1? How you doing, man?
EO, we're all good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm old, bro. Hey, wait, you have a wife? What the heck? League players don't have wives.
Almost, tell me.
League players don't have wives. What the heck?
I think I remember at one point I didn't play the game for like a year, but I was following every single pro scene.
Really?
And that might have been how I recovered my social life.
Because like I watch LCS, LPL, LEC, LCK. I haven't got a chance to watch the LCK as of much recently, but I kind of usually only follow like Damwon and Genji and T1. It's really crazy how they've been having so many issues with T1 right now. Oh my god, it's like watching a shit show just consistently keep going. And then watching NA's always been watching a shit show. So
I don't know how you do it, dude. I barely have time to watch like the best LEC games and then like the LCS. Like it's a full-time job to watch all 4 regions.
It is.
It's insane.
That's why Dom and LS have jobs. Like,
dude, yeah, it is. Because I always try to be the most well-informed because I believe a lot of people make opinions on stuff they have no clue what they're talking about. Like when they said, Sword Art was all washed up. I'm like, did you watch the actual games? Because tuning looked really bad right now without Sword Art. If you actually watched even a little bit of the games.
That you could jump onto that easy enough, but like there's an easy point for Sword Art historically, even going back to Flash Woes, where Engage supports what he's always been solid on, or has always had a great performance on. And it's usually where you would get high opinions historically on Aphromu or Smoothie or Zazel when they get on Engages, just because that Flash is way better than a Lulu or Morgana ever will, unless you're going back to like Meteos, early Cloud9 with the Morgana combo.
Did you think he was good on Engage Sports at Worlds? Sort of.
I'd say generally. I'd say generally yes. I don't think he was really worth the pickup. I think that there's a lot of hype recently because TSM has looked so clean and a lot of big personalities have said yes about TSM.
I still think TSM revolves around Spica and Power of Evil. Even like this weekend has changed nothing about my opinion of the team in terms of like Sword Art is very on or off. There's major communication issues between him and his jungler, but I think that Spica is playing pretty well besides that C9 game. And Power of Evil is just a rock. Like I think they still win through mid jungle. So I don't know.
Well, especially going into control mage meta.
Yeah. We can actually just start right off with that C9 TSM game if you want.
Oh, God, yeah. C9 and TSM. Oh, yeah, K4 Polo, we just started. You're lucky we just started. They have wives. I have no girlfriend. and I'm single, and I'm a loser because I play League of Legends. So that's pretty much how it is. They both actually have he actually almost has a wife, and you actually almost have a wife. You guys might as well be brothers now. So you guys ready to be tied down? No more girls for you guys. Dang it, you know.
Bold of you to assume I ever had girls in my life.
Back in my day, you know, when I was a player, you know, back when I was in high school and just growing up, a lot of girls just threw themselves at me.
I'm sure they did.
Okay, sure yeah, it's like I don't believe you. But I want to ask you before we kind of move into when did you start watching League?
I first started playing League when Skarner and Talon came out, like way back. That was the first. That's the first screen I ever saw on the old client. Yeah.
So season 2.
I was more or less. Right? I watched a little bit of the IEM Katowice back when they had TOs running the competition. And I was actually very celebratory when the LCS finally happened because it was something that felt more regular. And then up until recently, I could actually guarantee listen because of my work lets me listen to whatever I want as I work, but I have not missed a single LCS game since, you know, probably the LCS started. I think that's
crazy.
I just haven't like
it turned single into LCS game. You watched the CLG games?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was there. I was there when Riv shouted out "the faithful shall be rewarded." I think that was on that double TP strat.
Oh my god!
That
yeah,
Piglet did not register.
Like, really good.
That's when
they were viable, and
that's when Piglet gave up at ever making a finals. TL it's so crazy how the finals could have been CLG versus TL, and the third place match could have been TSM versus Immortals. Dude, off that one play, that shit changed everything.
I was there when Saint Vicious was still playing. I was watching when Immortals came and left. Voyboy went mid and was like one. My favorite season of all time actually was right before the import rules came in, as I've come to understand recently. When it
season
was
4?
Yeah, it might have been season 4 with Complexity Black, who were doing like 80-minute The Dream, where Prawley was mid, and their entire strat was using the Zed ult to get rid of Zanya's timers to win the next fight.
Jesus,
like that was.
I miss ball comp metas, like where everyone would just stack on the ADC and the ADC would solo carry. You cannot do that anymore with how much damage is in the game. Like you can put all the shields you want, they'll still get bursted, and the reaction time you need to put the shields on at the right time is just like not worth it at this point. Like even the fucking support can one shot the ADC.
Well, if you're Pyke, but the other thing that goes into the problem with ball comp,
Pyke's not a support. I hate when Riot calls that champion a support. A support doesn't assassinate you and get pentakills.
Dude, Bard can 1v1 most ADCs and most parts.
AP Bard and ARAM is scary.
Dude, yeah.
The other issue you have with ball comps these days is the fact that the game is played across. You can't just have all 5 people running around everywhere because there's things.
I remember when they changed that because they changed how experience works. So if you do something like that, I remember back in like season 5, pros had to double jungle, and then if you messed it up, you were so far behind. Oh my dude, the game's changed so much. Even from season 8, remember with funnel meta? Everyone remembers the funnel meta, right? Oh, I hated that, dude. Yeah. Hated funnel meta, man. So boring to watch.
But the bigger issue now is so I personally as a jungle main, I fucking hate the new XP changes. Like, I think that solo laners are way too overpowered, and they can control way too much of the map just by themselves because they have like level leads over everyone. But like back then, because solo laners were under leveled compared to they were around the same level as a jungler, they just decided, hey, let's just give jungle camps to the ADC. Let's just give jungle camps to the top laner. If you're close to the jungle camp, it is yours now. It is not their jungler, and the jungler now becomes a ward bot. You get a sight stone, and you play Nunu, and you go and ward the enemy jungler. That's what you do.
Junglers have always been cut. Remember season 7? All you could play was like Rengar and Kha'Zix for like pretty much if you wanted to win for a little bit there.
Yeah. Dude, it was there was a long period in history where it was bad.
I remember a long time watching Dignitas with Crumbs as their jungler, playing Kha'Zix and just watching an assassin character just be wasted as like this.
I forgot to never ask you. I never asked you this. Who is your team that you support?
I
Yeah.
rotate. I was a TSM fan with like ignoring Reginald's bullshit until until the Holy War of last year. I'm like, no, I'm done. And after like giving consideration, because Thorin gave me Thorin kind of opened my eyes to like how much control Bjergsen has had over that roster over the years, and how we've had so long to watch junglers go in and out of that org that I have just lost all like. The only faith I've had is just recently when at least, you know, people that watch way more than I do have positive reads on at least the team. So like I've been big on much bigger on C9 and other things. I've been as Riot would want me. I've been a fan of the LCS, you could say, but my taste has really evolved in a much more mature element, especially watching more and taking it more seriously, trying to do content or stream to where I'm looking at LS, Dom, the LEC. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I think your evolution of your opinions has been very similar to mine. Like, at one point, I was just an NA stan, like, before when I understood that NA was just a shit tier league, and you know we lose against everyone. Like, I actually was just like, okay, it doesn't matter who you are. Yeah, no, it was like I started watching first time ever from season 3 onwards, and I joined like towards the end of season 3, where like the Cloud9 were like the last hope of NA or whatever. They were actually called like the last hope of NA when they were going up against Fnatic. And up until that point, I was like, C9, TSM, whoever the third team is, I'm rooting for you. Go get them. Like now, dude, every time I just watch international events, I'm rooting for C9. And then after C9, I don't give a fuck. Like if I don't personally want TSM to do well because I know for a fact that TSM's fans are going to shit talk the rest of NA if they do well. Or like I bet TSM fans don't want C9 to do well because if C9 does well, then it's
more international. Yeah. See, with me,
like now,
I just like to watch quality League of Legends. To me, I have my teams that I like. I like G2 and I like Cloud9. But I like to see quality League of Legends because I think if you look at it from just a team point of view, right, you don't get to see like the better teams too. And I personally like to watch a lot of the teams to see the more quality League of Legends. Like last year, I know a lot of people in our Discord, they were going like, top esports is going to win. I'm like, have you watched Damn One games? These are just like stomps.
That's exactly my point. Well, I'm not a Damn One game fan personally because I never really got a narrative about Damn One Gaming that I could latch onto. I was a Suning fan because of Hongfeng last Worlds, but like for me, it's like if C9 loses, I'm cheering for G2 because my favorite player was on G2, which is Perks. Well, now he's on C9, which is very fucking easy. But like if C9 doesn't win, okay, G2, go get him. If G2 doesn't win, okay, SKT. Is Faker here? Okay, no, Faker's not here. All right, where's Rookie? You know what I mean? Like I look for the next like stud player.
What I love, like it's just I love actually that no one's pointing this out. At least in the recent import rule discussions, which has its a billion different nuances. Like go watch.
Oh my god, there's so many different takes.
Well, yeah, go watch the Four Horsemen. Go watch Face Check, whatever. But
it was so good. By the way, I finally watched it.
The Four Horsemen.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I finally watched it.
I told you. It's fantastic.
See, dude,
were you the one in chat that was saying that?
Were you the one in chat?
Oh, gotcha. Now I remember.
Yeah. No, you're good. So here's what I love that no one has said yet, and I'm surprised like a personality like Thorin hasn't said it yet, or even LS or Dom, like the very blunt, straightforward personalities. Like winning is all that matters. And the biggest problem we have is we don't have the simple mindset to understand that if you're not winning, you are doing something wrong and you need to figure it out. And NA refuses to basically say we are doing something wrong, so we are not actually winning. Because W's are all that
winning matters for what? Winning matters
for
growing your fan base. Right?
Winning matters to growing fans, for the clout of it, for getting championships. The CLG's at the bottom of the damn bracket, and the only reason they have fans is because they have pity fans like my boy my Vega over at Everything LCS.
Broxa.
Like
I know
Broxa.
One of my good friends is a CLG fan. I don't understand it. Yeah.
I'm a sympathetic CLG fan, but I have the only jersey I actually have ever bought is a G2 jersey, just because like the best.
Oh, I have a lot of those. Yeah. I have a lot of those.
I got a question for you. I have a question for you. Was LMQ beating Curse a good thing for the league? To go to Worlds.
The LMQ is that Korean roster that came
all Chinese team with Zhao Wei Zhao.
Was that a good thing? Because they won, right? They won.
Yeah, no, I love that team. I love that team. I love Van Silly was like the first time that I saw an ADC that would actually dodge forward on his Lucian and actually trade aggressively. So he would dodge abilities, trade forward. Zhao before he was just they were getting shit on him to ban him. He was a contentious mid lane. Like it was great. Like everything felt good. The personalities felt like they were there. So everyone's sitting there is like we want NA homegrown talent, and unfortunately we're not actually talking to the same people on Reddit or Twitter over and over. So we're seeing the mob say different things at different times.
Yeah. So for me, dude, personally, I'm for removing the rule because you saw our last show. So here's my thing. A lot of the NA fans we have now, like, I'm just going to be honest here. If anybody watches this and you get mad and you unsubscribe, goodbye. A lot of people are just mindless, socially retarded nerds, and they don't know what they want. Let's be honest here. Golden Guardians, Dignitas, Immortals, and CLG have close to the most NA players we have in the league, right? Those if you go watch their highlight games on YouTube from any big person that puts them out, full VODs, I'm talking in highlights of all their games dwarf in comparison to Team Liquid, Cloud9, and TSM, and now 100 Thieves because they're pretty popular outside of League, which brings fans into their League of Legends realm, right? So
I got a point about that. I do have a gripe about that. We talked about this last time, and I agree that they are less popular, but I disagree that they're less popular because they have NA fans. I believe that they're less popular because they don't win, right? Like that's the correlation that we're trying to make. Because they don't win, they're less popular.
Well,
if they had a bunch of
different point, I was going to bring a different point. So it's just the fact that the fans don't interact or bring any interaction with these NA players anyway, though. Like just looking at Perks, when Perks came over to Cloud9, people are like, "Oh yeah, Perks coming over." That dude's an import. Everyone's hyping up an import player. Like, do you really see a lot of the NA fans care for these NA players? People care about Broxham more than they care about Niles. Like, let's be honest here.
But
like
again, isn't that the point? Is like we don't want all imports, right? Like that's the whole point. We want the big name imports, the ones with clout, the ones that are actually good. Like the reason people were hyping up Perks is because it's Perks.
I hope
no one was hyping up Finn, right?
If Dig wins the split. Holy shit! If Dig wins the split, I'll slice my throat.
Dardoch's ultimate revenge timeline.
Hey, Lena now knows somebody wants Dardoch now, but
but they probably got him at a discount.
Yeah. I think the Four Horsemen summed it up best with what Richard Lewis said, which is if you don't have any native talent coming out of the scene, then your league is fucked. Because if you could have as many imports coming into the league as possible, if you don't have any native talent, then what you're going to end up having is a bunch of CEOs that are just buying the big name players that are always past their prime, like just because of the name. And Richard Lewis used this example for a football team or a soccer team in
it was a lower league in the football in a UK football. Basically, they have a requirement in the league that you must be developing talent
for at least 6 out of your 17 players or whatever it is, right? And so that's a much smaller requirement than the LCS. So I'm in favor of easing up on the restrictions, but you definitely need NA talent because at some point there will be a time where people just give up on solo queue. Like it is easy to give up on solo queue when you're at D4. Let me tell you, like I don't have any motivation to keep climbing because I know that getting to masters or challengers is almost impossible, right? But imagine these players that are grinding day in and day out in challengers, like 500 LP, and they still aren't getting a shot. Like not even a single shot. When they finally get the shot, most of those players at least are being received by the NA fans in a positive way. Now, they might not be getting as much clout as the best players in the world, like Perks and or whoever, but Iconic, Niles is getting flamed, but Iconic has been a nice surprise. Revenge has been a breakout star, I think, this year. I think that he has a long way to go to be considered a top 4 top laner. But
Fake God and Saligo have been pretty solid.
Dude, Saligo's been so good, and Palafox is just good. Period. Point blank. It doesn't matter if he's an import or not. And you do have these superstars that come up, like Vulcan and Tactical.
I gotta jump on Nightwing, and I have 2 points that I wanted to. I've been throwing in our private chat to remember them. So one, Fake God was dunking this past weekend. He was dunking on kids with that Aatrox. So 1 point I want to throw back. 1 point I want to throw backwards, and this is I think I got this from I believe Bernie out of Rooster Teeth, is that fans don't know what they want until you give it to them.
Okay.
And this is a rule of content to where you should treat the audience, the fans, and take what they say with a grain of salt. Take it, seriously for what it is, but you need to decipher between having, at least in the creative world of Rooster Teeth and animation and stuff, you have to go on a creative mindset. Now, if you're going to do in a competitive environment such as this, winning is all that really matters, is what it goes down to. And the fans don't know what they want because they're going to go between, we want to win or we want to have natural talent. And when they're fighting back and forth, you as an org have to decide what you're about and what you want, which is where, actually, funny enough, I became a legitimate fan of Golden Guardians this year because of Hunter. Because of that, I think it was
Danon for me, but
Danon as well. Danon's supplemented it, but it started when it was the LCS commissioner was talking to Travis, I believe, in an interview, and he had Hunter there as well. And they talked about how Golden Guardians is the most proactive org in the LCS for discussing structure changes to the league and how to make it better, more competitive, more viable, and things like that. And I'm just like, I'm a fan of hard work, and as much as that manager of Golden Guardians isn't a great personality, I can't help but respect hard work out of a no-name org that is now, at least having the idea of developing talent because their budget got cut, which is where, I don't know, I like Niles. I think Niles is getting a lot of flack because a narrative was created for him that he was playing cocky, and that's how they are presuming he's cocky, but he's not. He actually, I tweeted this out. Niles is like the kid that had all the female attention in high school and had no idea what to do with it innocently. Like, just
story of my life, right?
Okay, so I do disagree. I think he's playing pretty bad in most of the games. I think this weekend he was slightly better in one of the games, but I will disagree that I don't think that. And
I'm not worried about focusing on that. The other point I want to at least make sure I get out that went back to our imports discussion that we were on, is that I actually calculated this early on my spreadsheet for the year. Is that I actually ran the comparison just based on the original nationality of the players from Liquipedia. LCS 2020 had 25 NA players, 15 EU players, 8 Koreans, and 2 Australians. This year, 25 NA still, 12 EU, 6 Koreans, 2 LA, 4 Australian, and 1 Chinese player. So we have been sitting at half the league, because it's 50 players total. Half the league is actually from NA.
So what people were,
I think there were a lot more rookie players this time around too, because a lot of the old
and that's another consideration too. That's another.
It's also that this year a lot of teams changed, like a lot of, and that also has to do with the fact that a lot of NA veterans are not playing on main rosters as well. Yeah.
18.
I think it's great. I personally think it's great. I think we're going to see better performance at Worlds personally this year than we did in the past 2 years.
Nick says. Why Nick says why Dignitas doesn't go out and promote themselves as we are the all NA talent team. We hold up your candle. We will never use imports. That would generate interest in the team. The issue with that is there's two different things.
Because they keep the marketing strategy.
They did the first. They did the first where they went in the opening to the season. They actually identified that they ended up with a full NA roster.
Key distinction.
But there's never been, like, Golden Guardians was the only org that ever said we're gonna go pure natural talent, and they left that in like a split. So, like,
what I wanted to bring up was that it's just that, how like certain teams do well, and then you go to Worlds, and that team you like starts losing. Like G2 last year, they were doing well in EU. They went to Worlds, they started losing to some Korean teams. Then, like when you're losing, things change. Like dynamics change. People start having different attitudes towards how a player starts playing. So in certain off seasons, let's say Dig right now are all built on NA talent, right? Well, let's say in an off season there's this really good import that could make their team a whole lot better. You think they're not going to try to get them?
Again, this is what I meant. Like, I'm not one of those people that looks at the bottom 4 team and is like disappointed in them, except for CLG. Like, that's the and I'll go into it. It's not just a hatred. I have a legitimate reason for it. It's because they imported players that I don't believe should be taking up import slots. But I think that GG, Immortals, Dignitas, all these teams,
Cloud9 finds NA talent.
They're doing the right approach, which is you need your core 3 native players before you can really go for those big name imports, right? Like, if you're going to shoot for the moon, you got to have a core that is worth investing and spending for imports. And that's why I have a problem with CLG, is that if you replaced Finn with a NA talent, if you replaced a Broxa with an NA talent, will their record really be that different? I mean, how could it be that different to a 3-11 or whatever their record is right now, right? Like that's where I have issues is when imports take up the slots for NA residents to be able to perform and to grow and to get better without actually contributing to the winning. If the imports aren't contributing to the winning, I have an issue with the imports. And I think that it has to be results based analysis in this situation, because we kind of knew that Finn coming in was not going to elevate this team any higher than what Ruin and Crown were doing, right? Like, so this was a chance for CLG to rebuild, rekindle their, NA fandom, but they just botch it from a branding standpoint. They botch it from their play standpoint, and I don't know what's going on. I like seeing people like Golden Guardians who get completely shafted over the season, lose their entire roster, which they built from the core. They scouted FBI. They scouted who he as a support. They scouted Closer and brought him in, found Demonte. Like, this was a fucking groundworks effort that
They even built the re-narrative for Hanser. They even built Hanser's narrative too.
Yeah, and they literally lost their entire roster and are now with a roster which they have again found a talent in Iconic, which they can nurture. They have found some semblance of hope, not in Niles, but in the rest of the team to perform.
Newbie's like the only guy I can get behind. Some guys you brought in, that he's just bad.
I agree, and I think that that's fine. Like, they started at this place 2 years ago on Golden Guardians 2, where they were just a complete joke with Golden Glue mid, and I forget their entire roster then, but
Closer support. The whole high.
I feel like they had Froggen, and then they had Golden Glue, and then I don't know what exactly.
They had Mickey at one point.
Yeah. So, like, they're experimenting, they're trying different things, and eventually I have full faith in Danon and Hunter and the rest of the coaching staff to be able to figure it out, and that makes me like the org. And the same thing with Immortals, to finally give Revenge a chance. Like, as a player that plays in NA solo queue and luckily has got a chance to play against Revenge one time when he was smurfing and trying to level up his account, like, the fact that I can see someone that I might be able to see in solo queue playing on the LCS stage motivates me not to become a pro, but like to play more solo queue, to be more engaged. Like, it would be great to be able to eventually be the D2 and get one of these LCS players in your games, and it hypes you up, it makes the scene better, and like that's what you want to see out of the scene. I don't expect them to compete for Worlds. And that's okay. That's what these bottom tier rosters are for. Our Academy League sucks. We have no exposure to a native talent. If the bottom teams want to be the platform to give these guys a chance, to give them a platform to shine,
and I think they have a really nice usefulness of the league too. They can have the NA talent, do well with it, sell them off, make money, or build a roster around these players. But what I wanted to bring up was no one really ever talks about this. I think it was brought up maybe a few times. When people talk about developing talent, do people ever list names of these people that develop this talent? We should probably know who's developing these talented players.
Yeah,
I mean,
so C9 is actually developing talent, right? Like, the half the league is ex C9 players. I would say that TSM is actually good at developing talent. They're not good at retaining that talent or identifying when to play them, but they're really good at developing talent because they identified Johnson. They cultivated his talent. They identified Treats and Broken Blade, and they're doing a great job. Whatever they're doing in their academy team seems to be working.
They get great talent in their hands and then
butter it. Just like throw it.
They get great talent in their hands, and when it transfers to their main team, they fuck it up. But dude, their academy team is actually like I've seen steady improvement.
Because Reginald doesn't give a fuck about the academy team.
Yeah, exactly.
Reginald doesn't care about the academy team. The moment
which is probably a good thing because they literally get better. Like, Cat Evolved was so bad at the beginning of academy last year. By the end of it, he was so good, dude. Like, it seems like the less hands-on approach the Bjergsen and Reginald take, the players end up doing better. But yeah.
All right, now it's time to go over the LCS 2021 Spring Split Week 5. And yes, guys, Cloud9 went 1-2. They lost to Team Liquid and they lost to TSM. Now, I don't agree with people that were talking about this on Twitter and the C9 fan group I'm a part of on Facebook. I don't think the TL game was a stomp. I think C9 could have actually made the game a lot more competitive, but they didn't. The TSM game, that's just super unacceptable. You're that far ahead early on, and you just
and it was
throw it. God,
and
dude,
the people that threw it were
that?
very surprising. I don't want to hear that Fudge was down 40 CS and that's why we lost. Like, okay, to be honest, at this point, that's just expected. Okay, so but like this time around, Fudge fell behind because of his team. This time around, when he was playing against TSM, he was down fucking 50 CS against Renekton, and Renekton was smurfing on everyone. But if we look at actually what happened event-wise, and I'm down to review the game if you want to.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
Yeah, actually, I have 3 timestamps. So first, let's talk about how they get ahead. They get a fucking massive lead on Blabber, okay? This is a late invade that just snowballs the game completely out of control. I'll let you share it. I think it's
going right now. Let me put it up right here. And the part of the game that really threw me off was that Spica, people have to watch this game close against TSM. Spica was not relevant for a very long time. It took them actually blundering every single team fight for this guy to actually get cleanup kills to catch back up.
Yeah, so I think the biggest underperformance this game were actually Perks and Blabber, which is crazy to think of. And also Sven gets caught out one time also. Like they threw on 3 different occasions to let TSM get back into this game. If you just go to like 5 minutes in.
5 minutes right into the game time? Okay.
No, I think it's 7 minutes video time. So around yeah, there we go. There's the invade, right? Amazing invade. You never hook back in. Sword Art is trolling here. Now they are so lucky that Morgana dies here to the red buff, by the way. Look, like Morgana auto attacks the red buff and the red buff kills. Like, this is so lucky because otherwise bot lane is completely fucked. But because a loss gets a kill there, it's not terrible. It's not completely out of control. Jungle, however, is. This shit that's happening here is like, my jungler goes AFK in a solo queue game. he's taking all of jungle Spica's jungle. He's stealing his girlfriend. He's just fucking him completely. And now if you just skip 1 minute ahead.
1 minute ahead.
So it's crazy. 3. Yeah, when they do bot scuttle. Only C9 is capable of this right now in the league, by the way. What they just did to take this maybe move like a minute back. They just kill the hacker here.
They get prio on bot lane. The 2 just
look at this shit.
Scuttle.
Not only do they get prio, dude, they don't actually have prio when when this guy's contesting scuttle the first time. Right here, look at the wave. Bot is just like, fuck it, we'll give up our entire wave. This scuttle is the game. And they just give up their wave. Look at this. His entire wave's crashing. No other team in the league does this shit. No other team in the league does this shit. They play through their jungler better than any other team in the league. So far, I'm just like amazed at how well they're playing. Look at Spica's CS lead already, and he's already stealing Raptors, and his entire jungle side is up. So he's going to be up like 40 CS here, right?
He's up by 3 levels at one point.
Yeah. So now if you go into at 7:30 into the game.
Yes,
game time 7:30.
I think I went a little too far. Now it's 9. Oh, casually, Huni was just beating the shit out of Fudge too. I guess we just start losing to Huni.
No. I'll explain what happens with Fudge in a second.
Okay,
it's not actually his fault. So okay, 7 minutes. That's fine. So right here, they're shoving, and their plan is to contest Rift Herald. Okay, you can fast forward this if you want, but watch what C9 does. It is a major blunder on their part. Because right here, they need to do Dragon. They need to swipe to top. Actually, maybe it's 7. Crap. Maybe it's 12 minutes, actually. Hold up. Yeah, go to 12:11. Sorry. 12:11.
Oh, it's okay, dude. No worries. 12. I think I went too far. 10.
Right here. Okay. Pause the game.
Okay.
So right here, they're trying to... oh, no, it's 11:11 here. Go to 12 minutes.
12 minutes in. Okay. 16, 15, 37's fine. 12 minutes in, right here?
Yeah, okay. Right here. Game is about to be over. Like, C9's about to win it all. Fudge is under tower, and he has TP, right? He's about to push the wave back out. Lilia is pathing from bot to top. Top has Prio. What do they want to do? They want to make a Rift Herald play either mid or top. Either they want to rotate their their top lane down to mid, or they want to rotate their mid up to top. Preferably the second version, because Victor's really far behind, so you want to come to his lane, not the other way around. So Lily is pathing up. Right now is the only chance that C9 can get fucked. And it's only in one place, which is top lane. So go ahead and play.
Okay.
You just cannot fight top. You cannot fight top right now because your jungler's on the other side of the map. You cannot get caught. You cannot get caught. You cannot get caught. So skip like 15 seconds.
This is the part where they have the bot lane fight and they almost kills Ven, right? Where he gets chunked to like 10 health.
No, he dies.
This is top. This is top right here.
Power of Evil kills him.
Sword Art has an engaged timing only now and only now. You cannot get caught here. This is like this is so stupid because if they don't get caught here, Lilia is coming up. This play is about to be over. Now Power of Evil is coming. He's going to flank. He's going to get a kill, and he's going to get back in the game. Spica's still fucked, but it doesn't matter because now the rest of the team is back in the game for TSM. They have a win con now. They actually have a win con now. Renekton and Azir get kills off of this. So now we go, okay, Renekton and Azir are fed, fine. Or not fed, but even. Mm-hmm. It's still not over because look at the jungle diff right now. They're still up 40 CS. They still have to fuck this up by a massive amount, right? Mm-hmm. So now if you skip ahead to, I don't even, let me find the timer.
Pentakill part? Where
No. Let's see. It's like as Baron is spawning. Yeah, okay. 20 minutes and 50 seconds.
Blabber got the dragon?
No. This is when Blabber again has a Rift Herald. They get a second Rift Herald, and they're only up 2k right now. They threw one other time at some point, but it's 20 minutes and 50 seconds.
20 minutes, 50 seconds, 16, 18, 20 minutes.
No, 20. Game time.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah. 20 minutes game time. All right, 20, 30.
Yeah. So right now, look, pause and look at the state of the game. Look at how fucking far ahead Blabber is right now. And then look at top lane. Jesus
Christ. Holy shit. And then look at
top lane. Top lane is down 55 CS. Blabber is up around the same amount. It's a top gap and jungle gap. Fine. Mid lane is even, but trust me, Victor does not do as much damage as Azir at this point in the game with Leandri's complete. But look at how fucking fed Caitlyn is. It's still C9's game to win. Caitlyn and Blabber should be able to solo carry this as long as two conditions are met. They're not getting flanked, and Gnar is in mega form. Look at Fudge right now, dude. He's turning mega right now. He cannot fight for the next minute. So C9 cannot engage for the next minute. Again, it's the same exact thing as before. You just have to wait 30 minutes or 30 seconds to 45 seconds for Gnar's rage bar to fill back up. Then you can fight, and you will win the fight. Watch what happens.
Because people keep saying for this game that TSM actually did outdraft C9. I don't think their draft is better than Cloud9's at all.
No, I mean, C9 has to execute. You can't say that the draft is bad when Lily is up 60 CS.
I think I was streaming. I think it was co-streaming when I watched this game.
Yeah.
And even in draft, like I just paused and looked at draft in the last second, and I was like, they win. Like Cloud9, what Cloud9 have is an anti-dive comp. It's you have to come into us, and if we're ahead, we can just walk wherever we want.
Exactly. Just don't engage. Do not fight. Do not fight. Look, Gnar is in mini right now. He does not want to TP. Now watch what Gnar is doing. He's like, I swear to fucking God, my teammate's about to fight. I'm going to go and fucking help them. Okay, I guess they're not fighting. I can go back and push and get my rage bar up. Great. Blabber, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? No! No!
Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
It's so bad. This is so troll. Now, Gnar has to TP in. He is mini form. He's completely given up his bot lane pressure. All they have to do is wait for Gnar to push in bot. He will have Mega. They'll have Rift to drop to top, and they'll be able to get complete control over Baron. Blabber inted it right there. And that's so shocking to me because I've been the biggest Blabber stan this season. I think he should be MVP, despite this one mistake. Like, this was so shocking to me because he was also the guy that was so far ahead.
This part of the game is when you completely give over Baron, right there. Perks has to blow us flat.
You can't get Baron or you lose. Actually, like
because this is the part where why would Perks walk up after they know they just killed Blabber right there?
Yeah, no, they shouldn't be walking to that bush. But I'm assuming he had no words. Like that's my best
Not
guess.
even that. Not even that. It's the LS hot date issue where it's like, why are you going anywhere? Like, what is your intention? What is your priority?
Like they just killed him.
Like, yes, granted that part, but it's like, why would you face check anything, regardless of the fact that Bambi's recently died? Like,
but at that point, if you don't attempt to contest Baron, I think that the game is over. I think that they've outscaled.
You could be playing that, but like, there was two of them there. The ward question is the legit question, but like, you saw one of them top lane, pushing the wave. So like, either you're going to go to right there at the edge of the Baron pit and throw a ward over, throw a laser over. I don't know if the laser gives vision, but you're going to check vision. That's all you're checking on. You don't need to walk towards the tri-brush.
Yeah.
Like, explain to me why you need to go through tri-brush to check Baron.
I don't think that they had to go through tri-brush. I'm assuming that you don't have to. It would make sense if you had Fog of War.
I was just bringing it up from the casual viewers. The reason why you don't go do that is because once you have the knowledge of someone just dying right there, there's a good chance they're waiting for you right there just to go in there because they know you're going to do that because you have to get vision control. That's what they did. That's a classic thing.
Yeah, I would say that they should have waited until Meganar was about
because now
to be
Perks has no flash now. So when they ever dive him again, now he has no flash. Now he's gonna die for sure, and the black shield's already gonna be down. C9 played. Oh, they played so bad in that game. I was like, what the hell?
And it wasn't even like it was so shocking to me because they lost because of their decision making. That's was true. Not anything to do with their mechanics.
Had nothing to do with skill. Nothing. They're playing just fine up until there. But what is the decision making though? Because we talked about this a few weeks ago. They're not making the best decisions in the game. This is the same team that. Let's be honest here, should have lost to 100 Thieves that first time around when they were giving away triple kills on Kaisa after they couldn't control a fucking dragon pit they have wards over. Like,
yeah, it's been really sloppy. And to be fair, the most shocking part about this was there were many points, like we covered the two biggest mistakes that C9 made, but there were a ton of small mistakes that Perks was making throughout this entire game where he was just getting caught out, trying to take trades that make no sense. At one point, he TP's top just to get insta-killed and loses complete prio. Like, it doesn't make sense to me because I know that mechanically he might be able to outplay, but I see no advantages at all to these decisions that he's making. Like, even if they go well, you get a slight advantage. If they go poorly, you lose the game off of it.
I guess that's the risk. You either take the shot or you just...
Yeah, I was, and a lot of the times he's being bailed out by the team. Like this entire week, like even when he was playing Jensen, he was getting bailed out by his team in a lot of points in the game and getting an advantage over the enemy team because Vulcan and Blabber are able to help him get ahead. But I haven't been very impressed with how well he's been playing, at least this last weekend.
Lena was talking about how shit's seen. Lena shouldn't be saying anything. Lena, of all people, shouldn't be talking about. Yeah. Lena shouldn't be saying anything about how good a team is. She needs to worry about how to retain talent in TSM. But nevertheless, one thing I wanted to pivot to before we go into Dignitas 2-0 and TSM the split. These were the top lane power rankings for between Emily, Alorm, and Freak. Freak is smoking crack because Fudge is not the second best top laner. I love like as you guys know, if you guys are new to the channel, I actually know Alorm. We actually did shows before. I like Alorm, and I think Alorm is right in what he's saying. I think Fudge is the 8th best top laner. Fudge is barely better than these two right here. Like I keep saying to people, Finn has been better than Fudge.
This guy
Licorice has been better.
In what universe is Fake God and Fudge and Impact over? Okay, maybe Impact, but Fake God and Fudge over Someday?
Fudge is not the second best top laner. You are smoking the best crack you ever had. Fudge is not even close. So yeah, that's also I was tripping on. Okay, so if you said Impact or Huni, okay, that's fine. They kind of are the same in their own ways. But Impact. No, not even Impact. Someday, dude, come on. Like, let's be honest here. Licorice sucks right now, but Licorice's suck form is much better than what Finn showed us. Let's be honest here. And people in a stupid group, like,
people are sleeping on revenge, dude. What the fuck?
It's like, I love people in this group, but let's be honest here. Like, if Fudge was on another team, he'd be like in there. Because this guy who'd you have ranked? Fudge is 4th place. All right, no more. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Just stop. You're just not watching the games.
Yeah.
That is biased towards because he's on Cloud9. Emily and Alorm, because if Alorm watches the show, Thank you, man, for being on the shows whenever you were free. I like your list, Alorum. I think Fudge is the 8th best top laner. Come on, like Finn this week played so much better than Fudge did.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
think. Okay. To be fair, the C9 versus TSM game, I actually give him a complete pass for because we didn't go over it, but he fell behind because he needed to fall behind to get Blabber ahead.
Yeah.
The Gnar pick I understand because the Gnar pick is all based in team fighting. If he TPs on mini Gnar, you're gonna insta die. You know that's fine.
Yeah. The lane matchup actually goes kind of even, but the way that Spica had to play it is that he had to just camp the Renekton. It was his only play to even get remotely useful in the game. So I actually do understand why the Gnar ended up falling behind. And most of the times his TPs were suboptimal because C9 was engaging in times where they didn't need to engage. Like if you just like they actually need to support Fudge more.
They're not even an engaged comp.
Yeah, no, like, they need to have their split pusher Gnar be able to get his rage before they look for a fight. Like
they could have that for sure.
Shit.
I just had to bring that up. I was like, what? Like Huni? Huni's like around your 5th, 6th best top laner. That's fine to have him there. Sunday's been incredible despite an actual good team shitting the bed to a certain extent.
I don't understand how you could put Someday past
below
3.
How do you put Someday below? How do you put Fudge over Someday? What games are you watching?
The way I would put it, I don't know if I see the same thing that others see, but I would put Someday number 1, Alfari number 2, and Impact number 3.
Yeah, Impact's been playing really well this split though. I
agree that Impact's been playing well. I just think that he doesn't have the upside games.
Yes, true. Yeah.
I think that he's consistently like a 90, whereas Alfari's had some 99 games and then some 79 games.
Yeah. All right, Kofta.
And then someday, yeah.
As you guys already know, Dignitas 2-0 TSM this split with their full NA roster. I find it so hilarious.
If you want a proper example of 5 retards going at one brick wall and one retard going at a brick wall, this is Dignitas.
Dignitas in their game against EG, Neo played his team fights really well on Kalista. What did you guys think about the TSM versus a Dignitas game for day 1 for them? You guys like TSM's draft? Because everyone keeps talking about TSM's draft, right? Okay, you like the TSM draft? Okay.
I think TSM draft is completely fine. They literally just entered team fights. I don't know what Sword Art thinks needs to be the engage here. They are obviously the engage comp, but he's not the first engage.
He doesn't need to be.
He needs to. All he needs to do is make sure that Lost has space to be able to deal damage. So the only chance for him to engage is if he sees a knockup on Kalista, and that's it. That is the only reason why you go in. Otherwise, you play to keep the tanks off of Lost, and then Lost looks for a one-shot to the backline with the Hecarim and Shen dive. That's how you want to play this game. If you go to, like, I think it's the third dragon or something like that, it triggers me the way they play this fight. They're like if you look at the Diggs comp, where do they want to fight? In a choke point, right?
You want to have Shen taunt in and then have Hecarim ult, right?
You could have a flash. You could have a flash taunt out of Huni, which would probably be your best play, or you could actually just have Spica go in a above ground submarine situation. And then the only reason that Sword Art would actually be better off protecting the Victor, because the Kaisa would presumably be the third dive buddy into the backline if the CC
if they get him low enough. If they get him low enough, right?
If the CC lands on a carry, then Lost is off and like finishing that game off there.
Right. And so Alistar has to be the secondary engage, not the first.
Secondary
go in
third.
First.
He's either the defensive CC to keep Power of Evil in the game, but you either have Spica or Huni as your primary engages.
He's basically extending the CC. The first layer of CC, he's extending it so that the person that is CC'd can be burst down with the Kaisa damage.
Yes.
I think it's the third dragon is where like they just funnel into a choke point, which is the only way that they can lose this game. I think this is it. Yeah.
But the fact that Dig can actually dive dot you, fail at it, and win the game just shows you how bad NA is.
Dude, look at this. Look at how good this is from TSM from both angles.
Oh?
Like, no.
Oh?
Like, look at this. Wait, actually, is this the? Yeah. This is the fucking.
This is third
fight,
drag.
dude.
Yeah, because Dig already has 2.
Watch. Spica gets an amazing engage, and just watch what happens. Just watch Sword Art.
Sword Art is.
Was this a 4th dragon? Am I about to embarrass myself?
4th, yeah, because TSM just gave that up.
Oh no!
It was literally the exact same. No. It was literally the exact same setup too. Sword Art was on the right, and Hecarim was on the left. Hecarim engages with ult.
Okay, and we're right here. We're back. We're deja vu. We threw again.
Yeah. So
Sword Art gets caught, gets chunked out
Jesus
way
Christ.
low,
Was it
and he
second
dies.
drag?
It's
Dude,
gotta
no,
be
this is
second
not
drag,
it.
homie.
This is not it. It's gotta be
Yeah.
second dragon.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fuck.
Third drag is an example of go through chokes for free. Don't use much of Victor's utility to like bomb that or prevent that.
Yeah, this was actually really good by Dardock, by the way, for buying this much time.
Yeah.
Actually, no. This is TSM's dragon. TSM gets this drag after it just fails.
Yeah,
his
because
dragon
Dardock's
engage.
Dardock's dead. Yeah, Dardock's
Kofta-
dead.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
should be a
Kofta just
decent
trolled
drag.
us. Kofta was just trolling us, guys. He meant this
Yeah.
fight all the way, but he went
No,
this
maybe-
one.
Yeah,
Is
this is
it?
a pincer. It's a pincer play.
Nah, I don't think this
And-
is it.
But
I think
I
you're
don't
remem-
think-
I think you're remembering another Dignitas game.
No. I guarantee you. It's later. So what I thought was the fourth dragon for Dignitas was actually the first dragon for TSM. So it's the fifth dragon of the game. That's
like
where the fight.
Right, like way at the end, aren't we? Has to be
No. Oh, maybe that one. Yeah, right there.
Maybe right
Right
here.
there.
I'm gonna see.
Yeah, there we go. Look,
Okay.
look, just watch Sword Art
Yeah.
here.
He's like, okay,
Look at Spica. He gets
Okay.
a fucking insane combo.
Yeah, okay.
Shannon's on the back line. Just go back and watch what Sword Art does. Slow
Okay.
it down. It's like reportable actually.
Go to speed
Yeah.
settings,
Yeah, there you go.
playback speed. Put the lowest on for just this game.
It'll take
Okay.
a while. You want to start right clicking, or at least right arrow.
Oh, sorry. I should
Right,
probably
keyboard.
go up a little bit more. Playback speed.
Yeah,
Yeah, do
Like
do 75. do
Okay, so
75.
Spica's gonna engage. Sword Art, just stay back and do the dragon. Just do the dragon.
No.
Please, just do the.
Mixed calls.
Exactly.
Not clear on what they're doing
Look
here.
at
He's gonna die
the
if he dies.
entire now their entire engage is flubbed. They have no ults.
Hooney just dies.
It's
Yeah.
over. Yeah, I mean they can't fight this anymore.
It's a smite fight right now.
Power People gets way
now.
too close. Like he knows his top laner just died. Why are you that close? Look how close he was. Look how close Power People is after they go in. That shit is actually reportable. If I have a mid laner do that, I'm taking him out of my game.
No. Power Evil is the only one that doesn't int this.
You shouldn't actually be in this part right here because seeing this part here, he knows Rel is right there. They have a ward up there.
Yeah, but what
don't
he's
see
trying to do is play the choke. He's trying to play the entrance to the choke,
Yeah,
right?
he's
So
trying to
that's
play
what.
choke defense here.
Yeah,
Because
so he's just trying to
it's a
keep
flash
everyone from
engage.
coming back in,
Yeah, it's
and
a
the
flash
rest of the
game.
team is just backing up because they have no more cooldowns left.
Yeah,
It's actually like super troll because if they just back up and all play the same exact area, like they play the same zone, right? Like in basketball, you play a zone defense here, you get the dragon for free. But Sword Art uses up all of his cooldowns and he has nothing left to do.
Yeah.
It's super troll.
as
But-
as a
Yeah.
word, PoE was just relying on his own flash mechanics to outdo the Rel play there.
Yeah,
Oof.
I think that
So you can try to make the argument that he was in a bad position, but he's also the only thing that's going to provide a bottleneck defense to prevent them from even coming through there for
Also
free.
true. But
Which
he
is-
I think that
already-
he played
he'd already
pretty
used his
bad
gravity
overall.
field.
But yeah,
he already used his gravity field.
He
when-
threw it out and
No,
then
no,
he
no.
got flash engaged. He threw it out and then got flash engaged
Yeah.
by Aframu, and the follow up wasn't even there. So Aframu has a good idea, but there's no prep from the rest of the team, and it's flubbed. He dies.
Mhm.
Like, if anything, it's just you could call it just a cacophony of mistakes from both sides. If you want to call positioning on Power of Evil, looking to just have a flash outplay at a team fight on a Drake that no one might even should care about.
Yeah.
And then the Dignitas team isn't even on the same page here. What was it? Huni had just died because the engage. He goes to where he's like 4 people deep, and then they don't even actually get kill off the 5th person that had counter dove them.
And imagine if the Shen taunt is just to stall and everyone pulls back and covers the
And gets
front
the
of the
dragon
choke.
and
Now,
leaves, yeah.
now, do you imagine Dignitas can walk through that choke with Power of Evil's abilities up, with Sword Art still able to flash pulverize? Like, no, they can't do anything. They have to concede Drake at there. So
Well-
it was just you just come back. You just come back and retreat. Anyways, I'm not gonna spend too much
Dig
longer on
takes
it,
down
but yeah.
TSM twice the split, and they also beat EG. There was moments in this EG game where I was going like, Dignitas' late game team fighting despite the mistakes on other teams. They do know how to capitalize on mistakes and these better teams are making. I would say this: Dardock is going to be most likely my MVP for the split. He's been such a catalyst for Dig.
You're
Like,
so edgy, dude.
I'm just saying.
Fuck off, dude. How is
Dude.
Blabber not MVP?
I was
what?
gonna- I'm still. It's between Blabber and Dardock and Alpha was the only players that I would
Okay.
personally choose.
I'm of the opinion after watching this Dignitas experiment that Dardock and Aframu are best when they are in charge of a bunch of rookies, because the best Aframu has ever looked is when he has a young double lift, a young Stixay, a young Johnson under his tutelage in that lane. And I think that's actually what motivates him to be
You
a
know what
better
I call
player.
that, dude? The high effect. where like your leadership and your ability to play the game in a very unique way is able to elevate a team to a certain level, but it can never take the team to the absolute top. Like that was a high effect for shot calling. I think the same effect is there for Dardok's unique jungle picks as well as Afro's leadership skills. I think that it's really good to shit stomp people that don't know what they're doing, which is lower tier teams. But I still don't think that they're able to make worlds with this lineup.
No one has any expectation for this team to actually go exceptionally far, even in the LCS playoffs. The thing is, though, is that, and this is a great highlight that others have said, if you have 3 rookies and you have 2 vets, and the vets actually get along somehow, who saw that coming with Dardok getting along with anyone, and they just sitting with 3 rookies that are just going to listen to him, you actually have a team that's on the same page.
Yeah.
People don't notice in this fight, Jizuke just whiffed his ult on Dardok. Not even whiffed. It's more like he should have saved it. I don't think Dardok would have. Dardok didn't have flash because he.
Jizuke ended this entire fucking game. By the way.
Oh, I'm remembering this now.
Look at this man. Look at where his Jizuke ult misses completely.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So EG is top tier trash here, and what I mean by that is that they should be sponsored by Glad. And the thing is that I watched this and I was actually irate with this match, even if Dig wanted or whatnot, but I don't think Dardok ever actually used his ultimate in the entire game. Like, it's on cooldown right now on this replay, but I swear he almost never used his impale in the match. It was tilting to me, actually. Yes,
you want to see a real
This was a Saligo diff, right? If I remember this game correctly, I think it
was played really well this game. Yeah, Saligo played really well. Also, Neo played really well on Callista. He was just he's just popping off,
Neo
man.
Bodying kids like.
Where is so you see right there where Neo is. I think he's still a little too far. He should be where Saligo is.
Run to the start. Go back to the start of the whole fight. Where
Jizuke was Italian stallion his team.
Not even close. Not even close.
Pretty much running it down.
How does this? Where do they posture? Where do they begin posturing for this? Okay, so we are at. Okay,
look at Impact. This poor guy, dude. He's literally exactly where he needs to be, and his support and I think that's his mid laner are just literally trolling and flanking.
This is where. So Jizuki is there, bottom left there, underneath Ignar. He's gonna try to ult Dardok, which is like what kill the jungler. So you actually main grab, run it, get mouse off. What's about to be up? Elder. What's even up? Is Baron up? And what's up?
I think this is when they take Baron up to this.
Baron is up.
Baron's up. Okay. So Baron's up. I think Jizuki is just thinking blow up Dardok and get
but even if you but you can't waste a shockwave on Dardok. You can't waste a shockwave on Scorner here, especially with your Renekton having that much pressure. All you need to do is flank from the right side. If you go back to where you exactly were when you paused it, like if Jizuke is where Deathly is, they instantly engage on Fake God. Right here. If Jizuke is where Deathly is, Fake God's dead. Fake God's dead instantly before he can even transform. And then they win the fight. Look at Impact, dude. He's literally zoning the entire back CC chain of Dignitas. There's no way Dardok can get in a way that he can pull a priority target towards his carries. And he would need to go through the entire team.
Well, at this point, Svenskeren was the only one now without a QSS. Like, everyone else on the team had a QSS at this point in the game. It was so late. Like plenty of taxes have been paid, but there was no penalties for early.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, Dignitas probably still wins this because they have Infernal Soul, but like, if you're gonna play the team fight, play it correctly. Like,
you could be running a pain train on the fact that like there's no good positioning there. You have your engaged support.
It might be too late in the game, is what you're saying, right? Like, there's probably bigger mistakes that they made.
I'm on positioning in that situation to where you have only 2 tanks trying to attack 3 people, and they're gonna, unless they actually somehow combine together. Like, it's just positioning. I don't like having mountains in between me and my army when I'm trying to fight the other army. Like,
that was the other thing. Did you see that EG game where they were playing Mundo jungle and I believe it was Ori mid? Right?
So I love Mundo, and I know you're a Mundo one trick, but I hate to see Mundo. Like,
I hate Mundo too. Fuck Mundo.
I think
they picked it first pick. They're trolling. They picked it first pick, and they get countered by Vayne Azir. Of course, you're not going to be able to play the game,
It's like a blue side ban on Seraphine.
Like, you pick Mundo into the right comp. You pick it into heavy magic dealing comp, which doesn't have a tank shredder ADC. Yeah. And they picked it first pick. Of course, it's not going to work. But like, I would like to think that Mundo is fine. I think it's a comp that they picked it
Nightwing might be the better person for this because he's able to watch much more than us. But didn't the Mundo pick come out of LCK or something like that?
It was on one of the teams. I forgot the team's name. He did come out.
Yes, because it was I forget who it was that started the Udyr.
Here's why I think they picked. Even FlyQuest picked him. Mundo is like a pick where it's like if you realize one thing, you have weak solo laners, and if you could just be relevant and stay ahead in the game, because Mundo really doesn't not scale. I think if you just go even on Mundo, he's like one unkillable machine in team fights. He soaks up everything.
More unkillable than Mundo.
Even picking silent support, I don't think is a bad idea.
Okay, I'm trying not to lose my... Wait. Time out.
Okay.
Let
the Mundo god.
The Mundo god.
So, Mundo, the way I create Mundo jungle is that he is Olaf that doesn't fall off as hard. He has a worse early game than Olaf, but he has a much better mid to late game compared to Olaf. Everyone has to build Executioner's Calling or Bramble Vest against him, or he becomes unstoppable. Yeah, it's a soft tax. And additionally, where he shines the most is his farm. How fast he can clear his farm is higher than any jungle in the game besides Karthus and Olaf. Those are the only two junglers in the game that can clear faster than him. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So in terms of clear time, he can also do it leashless and do his entire full clear before Scuttle spawns. And there's very few junglers in the game that can do that, leashless especially. Mm-hmm. So with regards to all of that, the jungle pathing that these players are taking is extremely fucking troll if you're trying to play through mid-prio. So Svenskeren was actually one of the few people that actually played this Mundo pathing correctly. Then Jizuka just ints him an already difficult game because they have a Vayne Azir locked in. Jizuka is like diving mid and just blows his sums, and then Svenskeren gets caught or something as he's trying to steal Raptors. It's just a fucking train wreck and a half.
You gotta think that dating Jizuki is gonna be the biggest aneurysm of your life, because this guy doesn't even plan out his own laning phase. I don't think he could plan out his life, man.
I don't either, dude. Like, I'm pretty much Jizuki.
He's such a flipper.
Dude,
he's such a flipper.
It's like there's some games I remember popping off, being like, my friend's like, "Oh my god, you can play like this." There's games I just completely run it down, dude. I'm fucking going like 0-4 in like the first 10 minutes. I can beat him, guys. I can 1v1 him. Nope, I should have just soaked up CS and just played behind. We had an Aatrox go 0-4. 40 CS against an Alawi. We're like, dude, top gap.
Alawi's like, busted.
He's like, it was top gap. I'm like, dude, rookie mistake. If you get behind in lane, people just CS and play under tower. That's the best thing you can do, because giving over more kills is just gonna make it worse. The point where Alawi triple killed the mid laner, the jungler, and the top laner, and we were like top gap.
Yeah,
the gap wasn't even a gap.
Vibe.
Wasn't even top gap. That's a gap to the freaking universe. That it was that bad. But the last thing to talk about, which was Ryoma took place of Damonte this week, because I know I have a lot of 100 Thieves fans. They want to talk about 100 Thieves. All right, so I'm gonna.
We want to talk about the imports, by the way. Let's talk about it. Okay, I guess he's not an import anymore, right?
No, I want to bring up this point. Remember, we were talking about this about why we put 100 Thieves at third place. I told people the same thing. Did they only get that far, or how people only remembered them based off how they finished last split? Because now they're starting to show a lot of their, cracks. A lot of the cracks in their gameplay are showing up. I told people, hey, is it recency bias that was carrying them, or was them actually playing well? It's different though.
Yeah,
recency bias.
This is my biggest issue with what 100 Thieves does year after year after year, which is they realize that their style of playing the game is flawed in a certain patch, which it obviously is here because control mages are strong, and so you have to play control mages mid. And they sub out the player that they think is the biggest weakness, and it destroys their entire team morale and culture. And it happens year after year. It happened with Meteos, the year before that. It happened with Cody's son, and they just don't seem to learn that. Yeah, you're not playing at your ideal because you're forced to play on a patch that isn't the way you want to play the game, but you still have to stick with Damonte here. Like, this is if Damonte manages to come back and is just as good as a player as before, huge props to him. But this is some bullshit, man. Like, we've tried the Ryoma experiment for a full year. We know what he's capable of. Even if he's a slightly better player on a control mage than Damonte, which I don't believe that he is, even if that's the case, how do you sub out Damonte, who was a core of a roster that you fully bought out, and replace him with a mid laner that doesn't even play for a jungler, which is your strongest suit? Like, now you're going to play through mid, which is what Ryoma needs you to do, and you're gonna get the entire team to play through Ryoma. It doesn't work. You have to find a way to make your style work. You can't just. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I think that they're going to do it again for next week and the week after that. I genuinely don't think that they're giving up on Ryoma.
100 Thieves has always had that problem. Even their drafting has always been a problem. They have always drafted for like late game when the game hasn't been late game since, man, I don't know how long. What, season 8?
Is the game is like 3 items these days.
And my also thing is like, okay, if you bring in DeMonte, right? DeMonte was really good when you picked DeMonte. No, sorry, wait. DeMonte was really good when you would pick champions like Galio, TF, things like Zoe. Yeah, so he's basically a worse version of Doinby and Niski, which I don't think is bad because Doinby and Niski have been successful and they've won titles before. You can win with that mid lane style. I don't.
You know what they don't want to admit? What they don't want to admit is Closer is underperforming this season for the first time, and he's been figured out, which is that he always takes a highly efficient jungle path and he wants to get ahead and farm, and opposing junglers and opposing mid laners are countering that by giving up mid lane CS to make sure that their jungler doesn't fall behind against the 100 Thieves. That's what's happening every single game, and DeMonte isn't able to, leverage the advantage that he's getting from CS or whatever into a win, and that's why 100 Thieves is struggling.
It seems like they want to play the playstyle Cloud9 had last year: hard mid jungle synergy, take over the game. You can still do that, but the issue here is DeMonte needs to play more than one champion, though, because Niski was able to play control mages, assassins, everything, actually. DeMonte is just a weaker version than Niski and Doinby.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Right now,
you can win with that style, but the issue here is a lot of teams want the style that Rookie has: hard, smash, everybody win. Not every mid laner can have that style, and it's cool to have a different style.
And what they need to do is they somehow have to find a way to play through bot. That's what they have to do, which FBI and Hui need to be the main carries for the team. But it's super tough for them right now because their version of playing the game is very meta dependent, and they still have not figured out what picks work for them in a meta where Closer can't just lock in Nidalee and DeMonte can't just lock in Galio.
You said this when we had the lock-in after Cloud9 reverse swept them. I think we talked about it. He can only really play like 3 champions to a efficient level where he's a carry jungler. When you have junglers like Olaf, Udyr, it's like, I don't know. Like
Olaf, he can play really well, but it's always banned against him.
Who can't play Olaf really well?
Exactly.
Olaf is an easy champion.
He struggles with Lilia and Udyr in the recent times. He has struggled with it, and it just seems like they can't find the groove. Their playstyle is very binary, which is in team fights are always waiting for Hui to find and engage, and then Closer follows up second, and then Someday looks for a flank. FBI is dealing damage, and DeMonte is trying to.
It's the same thing as secondary engage. I would call them Cloud9 from last LCS Spring 2020. They have the exact same team, other than
Summer 2020.
Yeah,
that's
true.
why.
Yeah. Because let's be, Cloud9 was dominating with this play style. Yeah. But if you're getting a player like DeMonte and you're getting a player like Closer, you have to buy into that Cloud9 style, though. Like, let's be honest here. If they really want to play that style, DeMonte doesn't invade with Closer like that. They play.
It's just tough because. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, it's fine. It's just that they play so far away from each other. Like, the team seems to do well individually, but they have a complete synergistic problem when, like, they're going for dragon plays or going for a Baron setup. They don't play together. Like, one guy's doing one thing, some days like, all right, I'm smashing this guy 1v1. What are you guys doing? They all die. He's like, fuck. Well, I lost. Like, what can you do? The team is just never on the same page. Also, their drafting is super suspect. They draft pretty much the same composition every single time I see them play.
Yeah,
Kai'Sa rail bot lane with the not Galio right now, but who's the champion that or Zier, or you play a Lillian Nidalee, and you have
I think Kai'Sa rail works. I think that they've been playing really well with Kai'Sa and rail, but the issue is that the rest of their map is not able to transition into the mid game. Even or ahead, they're constantly falling behind.
Ranking the 100 Thieves Kool-Aid also because I was keeping my opinions of them kind of subtle because I still wanted to see where their true colors really going to get shown.
I still think they're going to end up as a 4th place team. I think they're going to finish above EG. I think that TSM is going to probably be the 3rd team at this point. But if the patch hits, they can still beat TSM. They can't beat Team Liquid or C9, but they can definitely beat TSM. What I said last week, I still hold true. There's no fucking chance in hell that the 100 Thieves wins a best of 5 against C9. There's no chance in hell, especially against that team.
Ryoma time?
Yeah,
Not even
exactly.
Tanner time. It's Ryoma time. Good God.
Yeah, there's no chance in hell because their biggest advantage, which is their jungle matchup, they literally just have a better version on C9. But Blabber is just better this season.
What other team we forgot to talk about? Oh, I guess we might as well. We'll cover
Team Liquid.
Yeah. They 2-0 Cloud9 during the split. They beat them in the lock-in tournament. I just don't know what's going on with them. Like, you can beat the best team in the league and win lock-in, but you're struggling in this regular season. I just don't understand it.
I will say that game was a draft diff for sure. Because they C9 had very few ways to play the game, and to TL's credit, they played really well to get back into the game after C9 was pressuring on multiple fronts. Like, basically, I'll equate it to like a chess match where you're attacking multiple pieces. You're constantly on the attack, which is what C9 was. But TL was defending immaculately that entire game, and they were responding to C9's threats in a really good way. And what it came down to was a top diff that is just unbelievably massive and is going to be a real issue for C9 going forward against this team. Alfari is just better, and he is able to create that leverage of pressure in the side lane that C9 isn't able to do. And if you watched what happened at the end,
Alfari, those Gnar outplays he did.
He shit on Fudge, and then he was able to outman a fight and completely turn it for TL, and that's why C9 lost. But like, if you look at it, Perks was playing above average, and he was actually diffing Jensen in mid. Blabber was giga smurfing on this game. Like, Santorin was just so far behind compared to Blabber. Bot lane was pretty even, although Tactical had his int moment on Tristana where he gets caught out of Raptors. Overall, it was a pretty even.
K4, it's just Fudge just losing consistently. Name a more iconic duo than that. Bro, he's always down CS. And I told people in the Cloud9 group, don't join that group. They're a bunch of morons sometimes. Oh my God, Fudge is really good. He's developing. Oh my God, this argument is so stupid. Just because you're developing doesn't mean I have to just say you're playing good because you're developing. Yeah. He gets the same amount of flame as anybody else. Just because you're developing doesn't mean I just don't get to call out your bullshit. What the hell?
If you look at that game and you tell me that it was anything but top diff at the end, like, you can say that, there were team issues and like they could have executed this play and this play better. You're down fucking 30 CS and you're losing a 1v1.
Look at the Gnar outplays. Look at the Gnar outplays Alfari was doing. I even said it in my reaction video. I was like, man, look at what an actual top laner could create advantages for your team.
Yeah, and by the way, the spectators in that game fucking sucked. I don't know if you
was it live or
dude, we didn't get to see any of the 1v1s. Like,
you're right.
I didn't actually get to see this the Gangplank versus Gnar 1v1 that actually decided the game.
And dude, I don't know what's wrong with certain fans. Like, is it offending people to admit he's not that good? He's just not that good.
Who's getting offended, dude? I actually genuinely don't know. Like, all the comments I see on Reddit are just like, Fudge fucking sucks.
Like, okay, I'm glad because like certain groups that I'm more a part of, they're just like, he's developing, give him a pass. You don't just give people pass. Like, giving passes is so stupid. I have to judge a player right now for what they are. That's
he's not playing very well.
Like, I tell people right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he got swapped out next year for this offseason coming up at the end of the year. I would be surprised. Why not?
Honestly, the way that you can look at the TSM game and see that I think a part of its team is inadvertently losing faith in him also. Like, the way that they're playing, they're pretending that they don't have to worry about their top laner. Like, whatever the top laner does, they're playing as if he doesn't exist. That's actually what's going on. Like, if you look at how they play with the Gnar and his Mega Gnar form and all that, like, they're trying to win a 4v5.
When Blabber doesn't play around his lane, he's just even worse than an average top laner.
Yeah. They're literally saying every single game, whatever happens, top lane happens. We just need to win the other side of the map. And it's really sad to see because this guy needs a lot of support if he's ever going to be a fully functional player on this team.
It's crazy. Like, C9 had Licorice, and people asked, like, someone commented, and they were like, "What if? Imagine if C9 kept Licorice." I don't, because Jack said something about some culture bullshit. Like, no one cares about that, honestly. Like, fans don't care about that shit. Okay, if that's the reason why, sure, he knows more than we do. He owns the team, obviously. But let's be honest and objective here. I'm pretty sure he regrets getting rid of Licorice after seeing how Fudge's been playing. There's no way I would believe anybody saying that no one thinks.
I wish we fucking had Impact, dude. Imagine Impact on this team.
Even Impact is fine.
Fuck, man.
I don't
No,
even
I mean
think
he's been, I think, the top two.
dude,
top
I don't
player.
even think Licorice wanted to leave
top
them.
three, I
Like Licorice is still playing pretty solid on FlyQuest. He's still playing
Yeah.
pretty solid, you know.
He has his end games. I'll say
But
it's
then again,
50-50.
he's with the play. He's with oh my god, he's with Diamond. Man, Diamond knows how to run it down,
Yeah.
dude. That guy's pro running it down.
Feel so bad for Palafox on that team. Jesus
But
Christ.
as you guys know, we have the last team to go over, and it's only just the match of the week: G2 versus Rogue. Now, before we get into this game, LEC put on match of the week is what, Mad Lions versus like Rogue or some shit like that, and all the fans in the comment section were going, "Wait, G2 versus Rogue." Then you see G2 versus Rogue, and that shit was a straight up stomp. So Copta was right. People were like saying, "No, you're G2 biased, man. You're G2 biased." No, G2 to stomp the fuck out of these guys.
Yeah, to be fair though, like I don't even want to say I told you so because G2 is just fucking insane as a team. Like, how do you actually root against them? I don't know. They're too stacked on every role right now.
There you go, right there. That's man. Make sure I.
Yeah. I can't wait to start talking about Worlds because I think there is a legitimate chance that they make semis again this year.
I think they'll always make semis, though. I think they have the team that is adaptable to the other Asian teams, though. They've always been adaptable.
I don't think they can beat. Yeah,
dude. Their issue here is that they have really good players for Western standards, but when it comes to like the best, East players, they just don't match up, though. Like if Rookie faces Caps, Rookie's gonna just to beat the shit out of him like he's been doing every single time. I don't see Caps really ever beating him though.
I don't think Caps is the diff. Do you?
No. I think
their junglers like the issue.
International play, yeah, it would probably come down more or less so to the junglers because I noticed with the LCK and LPL junglers, the jungler is like the centerpiece. That's where you get all your playing time around. With the Western players, it's more like, hey, if my jungler's a carry jungler, well, that's cool.
Dude, I genuinely think that Caps and Wonder are actually world class. Like they could actually go toe to toe against anyone in the world.
The thing you also look at them as players, there's Wonders in Caps and LPL and LCK that are just better than them too. That's also another issue. Like they're really good for Western standards. So like they're top for the West, right? But when it comes to like LPL and LCK, what happened last year with Showmaker.
I still think I don't think that this you can't use LEC as a sample size to determine if Caps will do well internationally because every single time he goes internationally, he gets so much better. That's just we've seen it year after year after year where Caps is literally styling on international mid laners.
But then when it comes to a player that's just better than him, like Showmaker. Remember Showmaker just like kind of just ran to town on him.
Yeah, one of the games. The other game, Caps shit on him. It was. One of the games he a Caps diffed, and the other game Showmaker diffed with his jungler.
But to be fair, I also agree. Caps is a player I wouldn't really bet against. It's more like not even Mickey X or not even Reckless. This time around, if they go to Worlds, I was gonna say Yankos, but then it's like you replace Yankos with Selfmade this year coming up in the offseason. It's like
I think where they struggle is not their individual skill. That's what I'll say. I think where they struggle is it's their jungle support synergy and able to dominate the map through their advantages. I think that's where they struggle right now. I think that LPL is just a little bit better at creating tempo, and LCK is much better at playing the controlled style.
Also being way faster. G2 is a fast-paced team for like Western League of Legends. I think the Asian teams are just even faster. They know what they want. See, like the Western teams to me, they predict what they're going to do in the game. These LPL, LCK teams, they know what they're going to do before the game even starts. They already mapped it out. They have a predetermined plan. And I think that's a problem too. Also, since the solo queue is better in their regions than EU and NA, they're also able to play different types of styles. And then when the NA and EU teams go to Worlds, they're all like, they're far behind. They have to play catch up. And then they're playing catch up. But these teams are already, it's like being in Hyperbolic Time Chamber and we're out here just lifting at the gym. Where it's such a massive difference, dude.
It sucks. All
right, guys, this was the quote-unquote match of the week fans wanted, but wasn't really the match of the week. G2 played up against Rogue, and this was a stomp. Every moment of it was bad from Rogue. I don't even know what parts you want to talk about because it doesn't matter. They got absolutely trounced.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much to talk about besides draft. Only G2 fucking does this shit where they draft Lucian into an Azir and just know for a fact that's never going to get to a point where Larson can carry. This is just so smart. They're just basically saying, yeah, Larson's a fucking great player, but what are you going to do when we put him against the biggest bully in the lane and play through our mid jungle synergy? And yeah, it just negates Rogue's number one advantage, which is their mid laner, and he just doesn't get to play the game because Caps is on Lucian.
Or even Nick, I don't even think it's just an ego thing. Sometimes you could just be worse than somebody. Like, it's not. And when I say worse for the G2 players, I'm not saying worse as like they're completely worse than their counterparts. It's just that this other player does something better than they do. It's just little minute differences though, but they do matter in the grand scheme of things. Also, Nick, my MVP for the LEC 2021 spring split, it boils down to Treats. It also boils down to Larson. Also, G2 players look good too. So it's also, you're in that realm too. I think Reckless has looked great on G2. Everyone's like, oh no, Reckless is gonna trash G2. Oh no, his attitude issues, none of that
It's
matters.
hard to give it to Reckless because of how stacked his team is, whereas
That's
you
true,
can look at Larson and just be like, okay, Larson and Inspired are the reason why their team wins, right?
But then you look at Treats and you go, okay, he's one of the reasons why they're winning just outright,
That's fair. I don't know if you give
a
a support over a mid laner. It's always
hard for me.
How would you not
give it to a support though? He's so impactful in their games though.
Yeah, but the issue for me is always that it's like quarterback versus like left tackle in the NFL. It's like, how do you look at the mid lane role and say, okay, if you're the best mid laner, you're always going to have more value to your team than a good support. Like, it's just really hard to be the best mid laner in EU, especially. Like, if Larson has been that for the last 3 splits, or not the best, but the top 2.
Pretty much top 2, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like having a standout performance this year. How do you not give it to Larson? Like,
that's true.
It's hard to make an argument against Larson.
That's why I hate MVPs, because you can only give it to one player. I wish you could give it to more than one person, because when you give it to one person, you completely devalue what another person has offered to their team as well. If people watch SK Gaming games, the game against Mad Lions where he made that Alistar flash play over the wall, knocked people up, knocked them over, and his team got the advantage from that. How was that not an MVP level performance right there? They were in a losing position and he completely turned the game around with an Alistar combo. You know what I mean? That's what I would consider an MVP style equality. We have one player completely trying to change how your team is losing and put into a winning position. But Larson does the same thing, and so does Inspired, though. Or you could give it to Inspired. That's another player you could give it to.
Yeah, that's it. That's one issue for just giving it to Larson, and in that I think Inspired might be the second best jungler in the league. So it's really hard to give Larson all the credit when his jungler is also playing so well. Because
we know, Niski right now doesn't look as good with Selfmade because Selfmade kind of doesn't play around Niski. Now Inspire plays a lot around, Larson. So it's one of those things. There's no wrong answer. It's just kind of how you personally see the game. That's pretty much all it boils down to. But I don't think there's too many MVP quality caliber players, even from both NA and EU. I mean, there's probably a select few you're picking out of the bin this time around. For NA, you got Blabber, Dardoch, Aframu, Impact, potentially, Cloud9. You not Cloud9, Team Liquid. You could probably give it to someone like Core JJ still, but he's also not being super consistent. With EU, you have G2 players, Treats, Larson Inspired. I don't know who else you would give it to on Fnatic. Like Fnatic's been kind of Upset. Upset's been really good too. Upset has had a standout split. Fnatic won't do well without Reckless. Upset sucks. Yeah, Upset sucks. Okay, you don't watch League. You the same people who said that probably wanted fucking Patrick on the team. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, Upset's been playing fine. Fnatic, we've talked about this fucking 10 times over.
Fnatic has played Upset has definitely filled the shoes of Reckless. I don't think the issue with Fnatic is Upset nor Hillisang. I just think that it comes down to mid jungle, and it also comes down to Bwipple alluding to the issues they had last year, and I definitely don't think they fixed them. I think that Bwipple wants something Selfmade's not going to give him, and he wants a jungler that's going to be subservient bitch to him, and it's just not going to happen with Selfmade. If you want a bitch jungler like that, go grab fucking Skeens.
Yeah. Yeah.
EU has had some great players this split, and it's like I hate giving it to one person because you can really completely devalue what another person has set up for their team. That's why if you give it to Dardoch, then Blabber's been pretty solid for Cloud9 too. He's been an integral part to, how Cloud9's functioned, Yeah. Because you got to factor this in for Blabber. He's jungling faster because they show where he's jungling camps faster to get to things faster. Then he's covering for Fudge while carrying his other lanes to a certain position if they're in a losing spot. But Dardoch's pulling a losing team, obviously out of last place. Alphamore is too.
Yeah,
what do you do?
I'll just say for that particular case, I do think that Blabber has a clear edge in that he's not just carrying his already really good team. He is the main reason why they're winning games. Like he is the number one reason why this good team is winning games. It's not like the same situation as Larson, whereas there's one other real stud on their team.
Mm-hmm.
It's been Blabber has been the standout stud on that team.
Yeah.
And then the bot lane is pretty good, top 3, and their mid laner is like top 4. Or actually, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this before we leave, because we're about to leave in like 20 seconds, guys. Do we really have a best mid lane of the split?
It's
like
tough.
For
it's
all
tough.
pro team, dude. An all pro team, I don't know
it's
who you're
tough.
putting in.
You
there.
have to pick between Jensen, Power of Evil, and Perks. I think.
Perks is definitely probably third. Not Perks. I mean, Jensen's probably third. Let's be honest here.
It's tough. It depends
he's played
on
bad all
he's
split.
He's played
Jensen.
really bad on certain champions. He still played fine on the control mages he's good at, but like he's played really bad on Zoe and Seraphina.
He's so less impactful than Perks and Power of Evil though. Like I get Perks can have some int games, but at least Perks is being impactful to a certain extent.
It's tough because Perks has had more int games than I'd like to say is good for a number 1 mid in NA. It's really sad. But I would agree. I would give Perks the nod, with Power of Evil getting around the same.
And like the issue with this split between like NA and EU, there's really no wrong answers though, because all the players are playing pretty much.
Yeah, but Power of Evil got hard gap by Palafox.
There was the Syndra game too, where he went like 0-4 or 0-6. It's like,
dude, he got gapped by Saligo and Palafox actually. Now that
he got gapped by Saligo. Okay, Perks is probably the best mid laner.
Dude, yeah, it's like Perks actually lost a lane to Jensen, just barely, but he did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, no, wait, Perks didn't lose lane to Jensen. Perks lost lane to Power of Evil, because his jungler inted him.
I think it's like it goes between, dude, it's so hard.
Power of Evil plays to his opponent's level.
That's
like
true.
He really does. And then Perks plays to his level, but he just does some ridiculous shit where he's like, if he's playing against like the top level player, that play looks great, because if he does pull it off, it's like, wow, you needed to make that play because it's a risky play, but you had to go for it. When you play against fucking Power of Evil and you're making these risky ass plays, I look at you and I say you're an idiot. Like, why? You don't need to make those risky ass plays, right? So it's tough, because if he was playing against someone that's like really good, I'd probably look at the same play and be like, that makes sense. You need to take a bigger risk. So I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know how to characterize.
Oh, what's up, Charles? How you doing, man? Can they see the chat? Yes, I can see your comment. We're about to head out of here in like 2 minutes or so. But dude, it's so hard this split to get all pro teams. We're gonna have to do an all pro team first, second. Dude, it's like top laners. That's top laners me.
Alfari, or Impact
someday. Pretty
easy, right? Oh yeah, that's kind of tough.
Junglers, fuck Blabber,
dude. Blabber, no, come on, Blabber.
Dardock is first. Come on.
No, fuck off.
Dardock or Blabber? But outside of Blabber and Dardock, who do you pick? Like Senscarin?
No, it's Blabber.
No. Outside of like top 3. Outside of like Blabber and Dardock, who do you pick? The fucking trash can?
Not Santorin. Santorin and Svenskaren are both in the same boat. I guess Dardock is in the same. I guess Dardock is a little better right now.
Wanted to tell you that PoE.
Spica.
Oh yeah. Okay,
He's doing well. Yeah.
I don't like Spica. I think he's not as good, but for like this, I'd probably put him in the top 3.
Yeah.
Honestly. Worst, dude. I never really go off stats though, because stats are kind of how would you look? For me personally, I don't use stats a lot because they're not reflective of what happens in the game. But yeah, I did see that Law Esports put out the stats for that.
When does Jensen not have the best laning stats though? Like, what season has Jensen not had the best laning stats? I think that the thing about Jensen is he kind of wants to be away from a jungler. Like, he wants to just be he's like Froggen, but way better.
Junglers rush, Meteos, contract.
Like, he fucking hates his junglers, dude. Like, even it's a little suboptimal because I don't think there's ever been in Jensen's career. Oh, sorry?
I don't think you're right. I don't think there's ever been a jungler he's had where he's been.
Like, they're like the mid-jungle fucking style, you know what I mean?
Roxa, contracts, fuck.
And at some point, you got like Svenskaren was the closest thing, right? Svenskaren and Blabber, when they were like alternating, was when he was actually playing well with his jungler. But like that was Blabber being Blabber, and Jensen was just helping him out. You know what I mean?
Alfari's
Like-
just God. Alfari is actually just God top laner. But for mid laners, you just talked about that. ADCs, Sven, Tactical, who was the other guy? Sven, Tactical, FBI. But no, Neil,
FBI is up there.
hey man, Neil's been making a good case for himself to be in top 3. I'm just saying that.
Alrighty.
He's like, okay, I'm about to get out of here.
Hard pass. It's gotta. I don't want to say it's Sven. I actually think it's FBI. Believe it or not.
Oh, yeah,
I actually think
played really well all split
Yeah.
long. He played
I
fantastic.
think that he's been limited by his team, but the bot lane always does really well.
What else? Supports, Afro, Vulcan. There's a lot of the choose from. Afro,
Dude, no.
Vulcan.
I think you still have to go with Core JJ. I
He's
still
been
think you.
hit or miss, dude. It's been pretty hit or miss.
How
from him.
has he been the one hit or miss though? I think the team has been hit or miss, but I don't think he's
the reason why they win, but in their losses, he's also the reason why they lose too. But
what? No, I disagree. I think the reason why they lose is Santorin in most situations. I think Santorin's been ending it. I don't know, but maybe.
FBI and a dirty Australian best AD carry in an A.
FBI is criminally underrated because of the team he's on right
it's
now.
Gonna be, oh my god, it's gonna be crazy that day we have to do the all pro teams and the MVP. Now we don't have to agree on the MVP.
Dude,
it's more like
I just realized just fucking swap out FBI for Lost. TSM is actually contending with Team Liquid or C9.
Afro?
No joke. They're actually competing.
I would say for the split Afro would be the best. But Core JJ, my issue here with Core JJ, just a split it's just been like his misplays in bot lane would cost them games. Santorin's been not that pretty good, but also if you look at Core JJ, he's the sole reason why they win, and also a pretty big factor into the reason why they lose. If he's not on, they lose. If he's just not having a big pop-off game, then it just feels like they just don't do anything. And they have the same issues they had last year. Why are they playing slow with Santorin? People told me all off season.
At some point we just have to look at Jensen and be like, I feel like this is a you problem, right? Like, I mean, when are we gonna be like, okay, dude, this guy was literally the best mid ganker last year and just playing through Power of Evil, and Santorin was just enabling Power of Evil nonstop to just hard carry every game, and now all of a sudden you're with Core JJ and Santorin, which should be a better jungle support duo than Santorin and Ignar, right? And Jensen is still not being played through, and there's still no mid jungle synergy. Like at some point, we got to look at Jensen and be like, "There's something going on here."
Even from the Cloud9 days, we remember him from. He never had good synergy with Meteos.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Jensen's fucking beast, man. Jensen is like an absolute laning beast, but like, there's got to be some kind of issue where like he cannot play through a jungler.
He's only functioned with one good jungler, and that was Scarin when they got to the semifinals of Worlds. Like high jungle contracts, Meteos, Broxa, Xmithy. List goes on.
And that says something. If the best jungle synergy you had was fucking high, switching over to jungle, then let me tell you, there's an issue there.
Scarin, dude, or even high synergy. It got bad at Worlds that year, 2015. When they got to Worlds, it was pretty awful, actually. But guys, that's pretty much it. I think we had a fantastic episode this time around. So when does the split end for LCS? Isn't it week 7 or week 6? Let me look it up right now. Actually, let me see what last split we're going. It goes to what, 18 games, right? So it should be week 7 it ends. Should be.
If Dignitas finishes a split over C9 by beating them next week, I will wear.
He's not showing.
I'll wear a TSM jersey, and I don't even own it to buy one.
Waste money on that org.
Yeah, I mean.
So it's only showing 1 week left because the LEC ends next week at week 8, right? So I guess now summer won't have 18 games, right? Because they're not showing any more weeks right here. Is that it?
I have.
If you guys can answer me in the chat, does it only have 6 weeks? I mean, I know spring is condensed now, so that means the highest C9 could finish if they go 3-0 this week. Is what?
14-3?
14-4.
Oh, 14-4.
It's Cloud9 faces CLG, Dig, and IMT. So relatively, should have a 3-0 week. Should.
If this isn't a 3-0 week, I don't know what is, dude. 2 of those games are so free. And then the other game is against fucking Saligo Fake God. So if Fudge in stat lane.
If Finn beats Fudge this time around, hey, I'm solidified on what I'm saying, that Finn has been playing better than this dude. Hey,
I agree.
C9 grabs Finn
Get me out, dude. Wait, they don't have an import slot.
No, I know. I was just fucking around. Okay, at that point, just fucking bring in Jin Axe or some shit. No, okay, don't bring the guy in. That guy actually sucks.
Bring in Hanser, man.
It could bring in Hanser. Hanser will be a big upgrade.
Please bring Hanser.
Huge upgrade.
Yeah.
C9 face. Yeah, CLG, Dig. I mean, let's be honest here. They've clapped Dig, IMT. The last CLG game was competitive, but the one before that they won. This should be an easy 3-0 week, though. Realistically.
I'm wondering who TSM and TL are playing, actually.
TSM faces EG. IMT.
Okay.
And Golden Guardians.
Yo, they could have a 1-2 week. I'm not kidding.
Team Liquid, I think, Team Liquid face Dig, EG, and 100 Thieves. So,
I'm telling you, Immortals is gonna pull a fucking random ass upset against TSM. I'm calling it right now, dude. It's some random ass upset. I think that TSM will curb stomp EG and Golden Guardians, but I think that they might lose to Immortals. We'll see.
And with that, guys, that's it. That's pretty much it. If you guys want to see me on my main YouTube channel, then it's in the link in the description box below. If you want to join just fucking hell. If you guys want to see me on my main YouTube channel, check out the link in the description box below. Make sure you guys like the stream. We got 4 likes this time around. We had some people watching. That's good. All I care about is an interactive chat and people talking to us. That's pretty much all I care about.
Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you smash that like button.
Okay, now you sound generic. Now you sound super generic.
How it do YouTube? Fucking ZS in the chat, dude.
Okay, now you're being a rap god. Holy shit. And if you guys want to be a part of the Discord, to be a part of other shows, just hit the Discord link. It's all there for you guys. Anything else you want to say before we head out?
No.
TSM's the best team in League of Legends history?
Immortals beats TSM this weekend.
Okay. All right.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about? What the fuck was that? I'm sorry, man.
The hell?
All right.
TSM is the best. TSM could beat Damn One right now in a best of 5. 3-0. Power People's better than Showmaker. Okay, he's like, okay, I'm heading out.
Yeah,
Dude, what if G2 and TSM go to MSI and then G2 just smacks them around? And then G2 on their Twitter page just keeps saying 0-6 lol.
Dude, honestly, I would be down. I'd be down. I just don't want to do it. If they're going to go to Worlds again, they better perform.
Cloud9 deserve to go to MSI after what happened to them last year. This is why you should have 2 teams at MSI. That way, something like what happened with C9 doesn't happen, where like they don't go to MSI because of world events and shit like that. I think C9 should get a spot at MSI just for what happened to them last year. But that's biased. They won the split. They should be able to go. But
it's biased. They got to win again if they want to go to MSI. That's biased. That's cap.
I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. That's it. See you guys later. Peace. Goodbye.